Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. As we've been doing, we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance and the United States National Anthem. I would ask now that everyone please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome, straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Oh yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it.
America's finest, the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, performing at the Barbershop Quartet in 2015. The Barbershop Quartet convention hosts gave us a Pledge of Allegiance. We appreciate these great men and women who represent our country. We appreciate all of our men and women in their armed forces, wherever they might be around this globe of ours. God bless you all. And also our men and women of our allied armed forces. God bless you. And thank you all for your service. May you all return home safely after your tours of duty ends. Thank you so much for your service, ladies and gentlemen. It will never be forgotten. Folks, we have a lot to talk about tonight. A ton of things to talk about. First off, watch your banks. Please watch your banks. If you bank with Bank of America, good luck. Good luck. We've been told that there are people in South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia area that cannot access their money through the ATMs. We've warned everybody over the years to watch your banks, and I've been asking everybody within the sound of my voice for years now to go over to credit unions. Well, it's not just Bank of America, it's Wells Fargo as well. These banks are closing shop. I don't know whether they're going to close shop right away, but that's what they are in the process of doing. Watch your money, ladies and gentlemen. Watch your money. If there's a credit union near you, get into a credit union as soon as you possibly can. Do not let your money be played with and where you can't find money at your bank. Don't let that happen to you. It's happened to a lot of people as of late, and I just heard a report earlier that it's happened to somebody else, and they have put the word out. I've also had some other sources today that have told me the same thing. So I'm warning everybody, watch your money. Know what's going on. You don't want to be part of something that could be very, very bad. You already know that our money is basically worthless. Joe Biden has shut down all kinds of avenues for us. He has given money to other countries, including China, Russia, and also the Ukraine. He's been dumping billions of dollars as of late into Ukraine. He can't do that for about 30 days because our Congress has stopped him. Maybe he'll violate the congressional orders, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, and he may try it again through an executive order. He can do whatever he wants. He can write executive orders all day long, but he's going to be in trouble. Now, folks, as you know, I don't like the man. I have nothing good to say about him. All I'm going to tell you is be careful. Be careful what you do. Whatever you do, be careful what you do. Don't get caught in a bad situation where you can't get to your money. Okay? Be very careful. Things are going to get very bad very quickly here. The money that we've known in the United States to be $1 has been devalued and devalued and devalued and devalued again. The dollar is no longer the comeback man for currency around the world. It's bad, and things are going to get worse. Okay? Now, I'm talking about worse. Tomorrow, Russia is going to be holding a disaster drill. Russian nationwide disaster drill, mimicking a drill where Russia has attacked the United States, and it goes both ways. The United States is not holding a drill of any kind, but Russia is, and they are drilling, warning people that millions and millions of people will die. They have their bunkers that they're going to be ordering people to use. They're going to use all kinds of efforts to make sure that they're protected. But regardless of that, everyone knows that a nuclear exchange between these great countries isn't going to do anything but destroy people's lives. Everybody knows that. I'm putting you on notice right now. Things could get bad. All it takes is one bad apple to turn the world upside down. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am telling you, and I'm warning you to be careful. Watch what you're doing. Be very careful. Then, on top of that, on top of everything else, we have this drill coming up on Wednesday. Now, folks, I put out my warnings during the past 2 weeks. This could be very bad as well. I don't like this organization. I used to hold them up in great esteem. With this great agency has turned their back on America in so many ways. They're holding a drill on Wednesday between 2:20 p.m. and 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. I've warned everybody about it. Pacific Time, it's 11:20 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. Mountain Time, it's 12:20 p.m. to 12:50 p.m. Central Time, it is 1:20 p.m. to 1:50 p.m. Eastern Time again, 2:20 p.m. to 2:50 p.m. Now, I'm warning everybody. I'm putting it out again. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm warning everybody to protect yourselves. Turn off your phones. Turn off your cellular devices. I've told you how to protect them. Turn off your tablets. Unplug everything and shield your tablets and your phones in aluminum foil. Turn off your computers. Unplug your computers. Unplug your radios and your televisions. Do not turn on your radios in your cars. Keep them off as well. I'm telling everybody, make sure everything is turned off no later than 2 p.m. Turn off everything no later than 2 p.m. And I'm also warning everyone to keep things turned off and protected until at least after 4 p.m. Give them 2 hours to do their dirty deed. Now, there has been some rumor, I can't verify it because FEMA has taken it down. Any link to what they've told us, they've taken down. There's been a rumor that it could last up to 2 hours. 2 hours. That's why I'm telling everyone, keep everything turned off until at least 4 p.m. I'm going to start turning things off around here Wednesday at noon. I'm going to turn everything down. I'm going to unplug everything. Anything electronic where there's an electronic receiver, I'm going to turn it off. Okay? I'm asking everybody for your own protection to do the same thing. I do not like asking anybody to do something I'm not willing to do, and I am willing to do it. I'm doing it myself because I don't want to lose everything that I have. Now, I've heard rumors yesterday from FEMA. Not just heard them, I read about it. They're saying that their test will not activate nanoparticles in your body. Why would they say it? Why would they even bring it up if it weren't true? I don't trust them any further than I can throw them. I don't trust our government after the crap that they pulled during the last 3 years. And it's gotten worse. I'm putting the warning out to protect yourselves. I'm not somebody that jumps on a turnip truck and heads down the road. I don't bow down to anybody. Ever. I never have, and I never will. When somebody says I can't do something, I turn around and do it. Just to prove those people wrong. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm asking you to protect yourselves. To protect yourselves. No one else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. You need to be doing this yourself. Please. Please. Don't trust anybody but yourselves. Put the warning out to your friends, your neighbors, and other people that you trust. Let them know about this as well. Okay? Texas lady says she's on Central Time. Central Time is 1:20 p.m. I'm just telling you. I've been warning people for a very, very, very long time. I want to make sure you're protected. That is the only reason that I'm even talking about this now. I'm trying to give everybody the benefit of a doubt of the things that I know about. I'm giving you the benefit of a doubt now. And I'm serious about it. I don't trust them, and I don't expect anybody else to do it either. Just take care of yourselves. Something else that I want to tell you about as well. Marfugu put up a video, I believe it was on Saturday. It was a video about Cascadia, warning people to be aware of what is going on at Cascadia. Because the government, again, is poo-pooing any idea that there's a pending Cascadia event. They're telling everybody that we're full of crap. Well, Marfugu put out a video, I believe it was Saturday. And Scooter Pie took the link to that video and put it up on Facebook. As a result of her putting it up on Facebook, she was kicked off Facebook for 90 days. She was kicked off Facebook for 90 days through Christmas. She can't get on Facebook at all. She can't talk to family, who she values greatly, who she loves with all her heart. She can't do anything like that because Facebook took it as her being a cyber terrorist. Yeah. Linking our dear Scooter Pie to cyber terrorism. That's not something that Scooter Pie is. Now, it's really messed up. Yes, I understand that Marfugu talks about a lot of stuff, including politics, but so do I. But apparently, Facebook has linked Marfugu to cyber influences as well. So Scooter Pie was kicked off, and the video was taken down. I understand Marfugu's video is still up on YouTube. Someone said it was taken down as well, but I looked and it's still up. Now, I don't want to go over on YouTube and even look at the video now. I'm scared of doing that. They are doing a lot of dangerous things. And I'm not talking about Marfugu. Okay? I'm talking about the government and its watchdogs. 2 weeks ago, a federal district court judge in Louisiana slapped the Biden administration hard in the face, telling them not to go to social media platforms and tell the platforms to censor and punish people for putting up information contrary to what the administration does and says. A few days later, a higher federal court came up and said that lower court was wrong, and they still allowed the Biden administration to go to social media platforms to beat people up again. This channel has not faced a strike. This channel has not faced being taken off the air yet. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. And I will stay here as long as I possibly can here on YouTube. But I want to put the message out again. A couple weeks ago when I spoke about this, I told you all that if I get kicked off of YouTube, I will be going to Rumble. I already have a channel warmed up in Rumble. And occasionally I will go there just to keep that channel open. If I get kicked off YouTube, you can find me at Rumble. Without a doubt, you'll be finding me at Rumble. Things are a little bit different at Rumble, but I will be at Rumble. I've done a few things over the past couple years that didn't work out as well as Rumble had, but I will go to Rumble if necessary. Now, while we're doing that, I do not trust Facebook any longer. Nothing angers me more than have one of our own dealt with like she was by Mr. Zuckerberg and his clowns. So, effective the end of this month. Originally I was going to make this a week and a half from now. Originally I was going to make this effective a week from this Friday. Come Halloween, I'm going to end my relationship with Facebook. I will be taking down my personal Facebook page. I will be taking down the emergency management page on Facebook. Effective Halloween night. You will not find me on Facebook any longer. However, I have had a presence during the past year and a half to 2 years on MeWe. This is a picture of my profile on MeWe. You can find me on MeWe. You can find Emergency Management Associates threads, a disaster page, a politics page, and you may also find other pages affiliated with Emergency Management Associates there. Our friend Don Patolka had Donnie's Den over on Facebook Messenger. We're going to try to phase all of those threads over to MeWe in the coming weeks. So I encourage you all to join me on MeWe. When you find me, you're going to find my name, Ron Tyler, there. Please go there and friend me there. No problem. Let's grow our MeWe page there to hundreds like it is right now. I'm going to tell all our friends to meet me on MeWe. James Brecka just gave us another $5 super chat. Says Facebook and Twitter are nothing to me in my world. I've been off both for 13 years. I left Twitter during the pandemic because Twitter disciplined me and closed down my profile on Twitter. They welcomed me back about 6 months ago. So I presently have a location on Twitter, but I'm not going to be using it any longer after I make this switch on Halloween. So you can find me on MeWe. You can find our disaster preparedness pages there as well. Our groups, our disaster groups. Those of you that knew my dear friend Larry, that passed away a short while ago. He and I were very good friends. He and I established a lot of things on Facebook, including messenger threads. Larry and I had worked together on a lot of projects, hurricanes and earthquakes and such. And he wrote the book on hurricane response. A great man. And I miss him greatly. I shed a lot of tears knowing that he's gone, wishing he was still with us. I have felt his spirit talk to me on many occasions, telling me things. But this is one of the things he wanted us to continue, is to continue talking to each other and preparing each other for what is happening. Larry was very prepared. We love and miss him greatly. Sleeping Volcano says, can you turn up your volume? I can barely hear you. My volume is all the way up, actually. I'll speak more directly into the microphone then. Yes, my volume is almost all the way up. It's pegging the meter here. I don't know how far you can turn up your volume on your computer, your device, but I'm just doing my best right now with volume here. But folks, I'm going to be on MeWe. The other thing I'm doing is I'm already on Telegram. If any of our mods right now can put up our link on Telegram, there's actually a URL to Telegram. You can go over there and find me here. And you click on that join group button. Now, when you join the group, I have to approve you. Why is that? During the past few months especially, we have gotten a lot of bots hitting our Telegram page. A lot of porn bots as well. So now, anybody wanting to join the Emergency Management Associates page has to go through me to do it. Hopefully that will keep out the bots as much as possible. But you can also find me here on Telegram. Okay? You can find me here. G. Meisner says, will we get a link, Ron? Yes, we will. I'm hoping our mods will post it here. I'm hoping the mods will post it here. Right here. This is it right here. Ron's Telegram links. So you can copy it. Okay? This is the link here. Okay? I'll keep it posted here for a few minutes so you can copy it. But folks, I am done with the social media links that do not allow positive communication. Don't allow conservative communication. Don't allow us to express our thoughts and our feelings. I'm sorry, I don't buy the communist regime. I refuse to bow down and kiss their feet, and I won't. Period. So you can find us here on Telegram. You can find us on MeWe. We will be here. We're not going to abandon you. I'm just tired of Facebook and its dishonesty, and their lying, their cheating. Putting up their fact checkers is nothing more than communist Stasi. The Nazi Stasi. censoring and slapping people down. I won't tolerate it. I hope Zuckerberg burns in hell. Yeah, I've said it. I've said it. Catherine Sigerson says there are heat maps showing lines all over the United States and Easter. Yes, absolutely there is. Okay? Why? Why? What has happened during the past short while? What has happened during the past short while? We've had solar flares, haven't we? We've had solar flares. I'm going to take these links down for the time being. I'll put them back up in a few minutes. We've had solar flares. This weekend, we had a solar flare that launched off a sunspot up here in the top left corner of this slide. Sunspot 3451. Sunspot 3451 launched a solar flare that's been affecting communications here on this earth since last night, early this morning. There's communications disruptions on television and radio. Even this afternoon, as I monitored some broadcasts here locally, there's been a solar disruption in radio and television communication. There's been a disruption on ham radio frequencies, a disruption on police, fire, and paramedic frequencies, a disruption in shortwave communication, a disruption with aircraft and air traffic controllers. There's been a disruption with NASA and Roscosmos with the space station. This was an M8, an M class 8. An M class is a moderate flare, but an 8 is very dangerous. An 8 is very dangerous. This was an M8. I did not come on the air to talk about it because it was a moderate flare. But I'm telling you now, it was a serious solar flare. Okay? Now, with that said, you can see the other active solar, or excuse me, not solar, but sunspots here as well. Any one of these could also spell trouble for the Earth, especially those closest Earth-facing sunspots. Any eruption from there could cause real problems because it faces the Earth right now. Now, I was also going to show you another slide that shows there's a lot of sunspots on the northern horizon of the solar disk. There's a lot of sunspots on the southern horizon of the solar disk. Just to give you an idea how many solar or sunspots are out there. There's over 200 sunspots on the upper northern hemisphere of the sun. On the southern hemisphere, there's only about 100 to 150. It's not dangerous, folks. It's been that way before. But that shows you what kind of danger we could be in if those sunspots decided to erupt and erupt simultaneously. It could be dangerous. It hasn't happened that way. We hope and pray it won't. But I'm telling you, the northern hemisphere is full of sunspots. Full. These sunspots that I'm showing you now are the most active right now. Okay? Now with that said, there's more. On October 14th, about 12 days from now, there's going to be what they call an annular solar eclipse. That means the moon will be blocking the sun at a specific time period and specific areas of the earth. Okay? Another total solar eclipse will not happen until April 8th, 2024. Next year. Next year. Now, why am I talking about this? Why do you think? This is a path of the solar eclipse that's going to happen on October 8th or October 14th. It's going to start out over the northern Pacific. I'm not showing Alaska here, but I'm just showing mainland United States here. The solar eclipse is going to start in the Pacific Northwest, southern Washington, northern Oregon, and it's going to spread throughout the United States, okay, through Texas. Now there's another slide I have that shows it going through the southeastern part of the United States as well. Okay? It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. This slide right here I'm going to open up so you can get a real good feeling of what's happening here. I want you to understand what's happening. That's why I'm going to show you this. Watch as the sun moves through the United States. Notice the time elements right there. I stopped it right there. 9:16 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That is when it will first affect southern Washington and northern Oregon. 9:16 a.m. Pacific Time. Now watch what happens. Right there. That is a moment there in the center of that oval where the sun is actually 100% being blocked by the moon. A total eclipse over that area. 9:18. 2 minutes after it first starts. Okay? Watch it as it moves. Nevada, Idaho, and northern Utah. 9:21 p.m. or 9:21 a.m. Pacific Time, 10:21 a.m. Mountain Time. As it goes through, all of a sudden we're over Idaho, Utah, and Arizona. Okay, right there. 10:27 Mountain Time. It moves down through New Mexico, going into Texas now. (10:33 Mountain Time, 11:33 a.m. Central Time. Texas is a big state. Right there. As it passes through the southeastern part of Texas into Arkansas and Louisiana. 10:46 a.m. Central Time. I'm sorry, Mountain Time. 11:46 a.m. Central Time. Going through Arkansas and Louisiana, Alabama, or Mississippi and Alabama, and into Florida. Look at that. Now we're talking Central Time, 11:56 a.m. Central Time, 12:56 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the speed of the moon's shadow is traveling at 1,826 miles per hour. Okay? The maximum the maximum duration of angularity. Okay? The maximum angle of angularity, meaning where the sun is 100%, is 4 minutes and 51 seconds. 4 minutes and 51 seconds. As it passes out of the United States into the Atlantic Ocean right there. That is 12:02 p.m. Central Time, 1:02 p.m. Eastern Time as it's left the United States. Okay? Let's bring it back here. 12:02 p.m. Central Time. Up here. As it just barely enters southern Washington and northern Oregon. 9:16. 9:16 a.m. And how long does it take to fully cross the United States? And this is huge. This is huge. Okay? Look at the time there. 9:59. Less than 45 minutes to fully cross one of the biggest bodies of land, the North American continent. Okay? Traveling right before it leaves the mainland part of the United States and Florida, traveling at 1,772 miles per hour. That is cooking. That is cooking, guys. Do you guys have any questions about this? A lot of people have suspicions about eclipses and weird things that can happen. I'm telling you, we do not expect anything strange to happen as a result of this eclipse. I'm not someone that follows that kind of stuff anyway, but I have never seen it. A few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, we had a solar eclipse that went through Utah. I saw what happened when the solar eclipse went through Salt Lake. It was mid-morning, mid to late morning. The skies got dark. The street lights came on. Can you imagine in the middle of the day, the street lights come on where you're at? This is going to happen again. This will happen again. It's a matter of time. Next April, we'll have another annular eclipse. Okay? But I wanted to just give you that information. Here, you're seeing here a presentation that I found showing the duration of completeness. Darkness. Literal darkness. 4 minutes. In most cases, it's 4 minutes. Okay? Most cases. It's anywhere from 1 to 4 to 5 minutes. Anywhere. But this gives you a good idea of what to expect during the solar eclipse on the 14th. Okay? Rebecca NCWQ Explorer says, wow, those are long times. Yes, they are. They certainly are. Do any of you have any questions about the solar eclipse? I put that out there for all of your information. Number one, I find it to be very interesting myself because I've studied it. I've studied the sun's movement. I'm not as good as Mark Wages. Those of you that are interested in the solar flares and such, I urge you to go over to YouTube to Mark Wages programs. Okay? He's somewhat of an expert when it comes to solar flares and movement on the sun. He's awesome. I hope to have him here as a guest on our channel very soon. Mark Wages is an expert. He's awesome. Joyce Rod said anyone catch the debt clock go blank yesterday. Then they had a message about Jesus Christ going into God's temple and throwing out the money changers. Yes, I saw that. That was quite impressive. That was quite impressive. I saw it and I should have taken a screenshot, but I did not. But it was very impressive. I saw that yesterday afternoon. Catherine Sigerson said this is a strong solar maximum. You're right. It is. We've been in solar maximum for maybe a year. It has 11-year cycles. It has 11-year-long cycles. Right now, we're in a pretty heavy part of the solar maximum. Hopefully, the solar maximum will not kill off our wonderful magnetosphere. It was supposed to strengthen it. Right now, it has not strengthened it, it's actually weakened it. Hopefully, shortly, it will kick back the other way. Sherry's asking how I'm doing. Hope I'm doing well. I'm getting better. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I'm getting better, I think. I have 2 more doctor's appointments, one in about a week and a half and another one the end of this month, which I have to get another shot, which I'm not looking forward to. It's a needle about that long and they stick it into my stomach and it's very painful. It's one of the most painful things I've ever had done, and it costs a lot of money that I don't have. It costs about $200 for that shot. I'm going to have to save for that one. In fact, I just got notified about that from that doctor's office today. It's a heavy-duty shot. But if I can stay cancer-free for another year or so, about another year and a half, they'll consider me cured, which I hope is going to happen. Life is kind of rough right now, health-wise. Things happen that I don't really want to discuss here on the air, but things are tough. Okay? Sleeping Volcano says, oh, no cancer, just saw the report. Yes, she just saw her own report. She had tests done, I think it was about a week and a half ago over there in Salt Lake City. And then she came back to Denver. And her husband now, Dennis, is over in Salt Lake City himself having some procedures done. Don't ever forget Dennis in our prayers either. And don't forget Sleeping Volcano. She needs our prayers as well. And while we're talking about that, let's talk about Don Patoka and his wife Louise. They need our prayers as well. They've been married about 52 years now. And I told you about the event that happened with Don's wife on Saturday. She's still in the care of the hospital people. Not in hospice, but hospital. After she fell out of her bed a few days ago. It was pretty bad. And she apparently is getting better slowly but surely. And Louise needs our prayers, and so does Dawn. Dawn is having a hard time with it. Rebecca says she needs prayers too. She injured her shoulder and is headed to ortho this week. God bless you, Rebecca. God bless you. Prayers are up for all of you. We appreciate that. Now, let's get to earthquakes. A lot of people want to talk about earthquakes. I'm here to talk about earthquakes. Okay? Let's talk about a 2.4 earthquake over near Tennessee. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a 2.4 earthquake. Well, guess what? This seismogram says it was a lot stronger than a 2.4. Look at the line going down here. This earthquake happened earlier today, guys. A 2.4 earthquake. Folks, this looks like more like a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Quite honestly. But USGS says it's a 2.4. And our radio and television stations here said it's a 2.4. But I'm going to send, after I get off the air today, I'm going to send this seismogram to our meteorologists and to several other television stations that I know of locally. And hopefully they're going to see what I see. It's a lot stronger than a 2.4 in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is not that far from where I am right now. It's about a 2-hour drive to Gatlinburg. Okay? But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's more where that came from. I want to tell you what is going on. Okay? Let's go to Savannah, Georgia. Look at this. This is showing almost continuous tremors. Almost continuous tremors here. Look at that. Why is it not just continuous tremors? Because there's earthquakes mixed in with it. You can see these longer lines here. Okay? These are 2.5, 2.8 earthquakes. Missouri Boat Ride just gave us another $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Missouri Boat Ride said, we appreciate you and all you do, Ron. Thank you so much. Thank you so much as well, and God bless you for that. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. That means a lot to me. It really does. All of your support means the world to me, including James, who gave us a $5 super chat earlier this evening. I appreciate that. That helps. It really helps. Now, look at all this activity here. Savannah, Georgia. This is real interesting. Okay? Why is it happening? Why are we getting earthquakes along the East Coast? It's not just there, guys. It's elsewhere as well. How about Sumter, South Carolina? Look at this. This is this afternoon. This afternoon. Look at these earthquakes just after 1 p.m. today. 1:01 p.m. today. Look at that. At least 2.5. This is a little bit less than what they said that earthquake was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This is a 2.5 here. It's big time. It really is. It's big time, guys. Vicky M. or Vicky K., thank you for that $20 super chat. God bless you. Thank you, Ron, also sending up prayers for all the EMA family for complete and total healing. Thank you so much. On behalf of the EMA family, I pray the same thing. I want everyone to be healed. I want everyone to be happy and to do the things that they need to have done with their families and their friends and being prepared. Over here, guys, it's important. It's important. Look what's happening here. Look what's happening. Let me enlarge this so you can truly see what we're doing here. Okay? This is Sumter, South Carolina. This is just east of Elgin and Lugoff, South Carolina. Why are we talking about those places? They're not listed here. No, they're not. But every time we've had earthquakes in Elgin and Lugoff, South Carolina, there have been earthquakes here. And I'm sure we have earthquakes over there in Lugoff and Elgin, South Carolina. Right here in Sumter. Sumter is the easternmost point where the Atlantic plate turns into the mountains and becomes the edge of the plate in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Richard Lyles just gave us another $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Richard. God bless you for that. We surely appreciate it. That means the world to me. God bless you. God bless you all. Texas Lady gave us another $20 super chat. Thank you, guys. It's just wonderful. Texas Lady says you're sure appreciated. The world needs more Rons. Well, thank you for that. My mother would probably disagree with you. My mother said when I was born, they broke the mold. My parents used to say the worst thing they ever did was teach me to talk. And now look, I've got my own program. I've been on the air before this too. Okay? I worked in two different radio stations. So yeah, I've been on the air quite a bit. Can't shut me up. But look at these earthquakes here. 2.8, 2.9. Both of these earthquakes this afternoon. Okay? Busy earthquakes. But look what happened after 5 p.m. 5:04 p.m. it started again. Okay, look at that. 4 near 3.0. I'm not saying these are 3, there's only one, and I think it's that one on the black line in the center, bottom center of this seismogram. That one is close to a 3.0. But these are significant earthquakes over there in South Carolina today. This is very significant. The Atlantic plate is pushing on the North American plate. The Atlantic plate, where the Atlantic Ocean is, it's pushing on the Eastern Continental Divide, pushing us in a south-southwesterly direction. That's why we've got these earthquakes here. And we're not done here, there's more. There's actually a lot more. Okay? Let's go over to for kicks and giggles. Let's go over to Roper, North Carolina. Where you see that red dot here, that red oval here, that is Roper, North Carolina. If we go over to the left, you see Rocky Mount, you see Raleigh, you see Durham. Well, folks, just about 170 miles south and west of there is Morganton, North Carolina, where I live. So this earthquake here in Roper, North Carolina, it's about, I want to say, 300 to 400 miles north and east of me. And it's at the seashore. It's at the seashore. Now, if you look at it, over on the far right, you see Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. I am 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. So you get some kind of idea where this earthquake is in Roper, North Carolina. Let me show you the earthquake. Okay? It's not just one, it's several. Look at this. Okay? Look at these. The top of this is midnight last night. That top black line is midnight last night. All we have there is microquakes and minor tremors. That's all that was. All throughout the night this morning, all we had was microquakes and minor tremors hit. Okay? What happened just before 7 a.m.? We started getting tremors, didn't we? About 7:05 a.m. this morning, all of a sudden we get a 2.8 earthquake. A 2.8 earthquake in Roper, North Carolina. And the tremors continued, didn't they? Okay? Then at about 7:56 a.m. this morning, we had a 3.0 earthquake here. Then we had more tremors, didn't we? Then at about 11:20 a.m. this morning, we have another 3.0 earthquake and more tremors and other earthquakes as well. Okay, 11:56 a.m. Another earthquake. It looks to be a 2.8, 2.9. Not to be outdone, what happens this afternoon in Roper, North Carolina. Look at this. Earthquakes continued this afternoon. Tremors and earthquakes all day long. That's incredible, isn't it? That's incredible. Look over here at that blue earthquake here at the blue line near the bottom. Okay? Folks, this happened at 4:32 p.m. this afternoon. Look at the numbers of earthquakes we had. Each line there is a separate and distinct earthquake. The ground shook for about 30 seconds. The ground shook in Roper, North Carolina for about 30 seconds. Then off to the right of that, if you look at these earthquakes and you delve into them, you find out a lot more information. Okay? If you didn't already notice, they cut off the bottom and the top of that earthquake. They cut off the bottom and the top of that earthquake. This earthquake may have been as large as a 3.5, 3.6 earthquake. A small earthquake, but still significant. How do I know that? Look out to the right side of this earthquake. We had a secondary wave. That secondary wave lasted about 45 seconds. That tells me, hey Ron, look how big that earthquake is. I looked at that and saw the top and the bottom cut off. And then I looked at that secondary wave and I'm going, my gosh, that is a long time period for a secondary seismic event. So this may have been as much as a 3.5, 3.6 earthquake. And it doesn't stop there. Look at the other earthquakes and tremors after that. Okay? At about 1:58, or not 1:58, I'm sorry, 4:58 p.m. this afternoon on the green line on the right. This earthquake was not cut off from the bottom of the top, but this is still at least a 3.0 earthquake. There's a lot of seismic events happening right here. Okay? I showed you Savannah, Georgia. This is about 400 miles north of there. Actually more than that, probably 500 or 600 miles north of Savannah, Georgia, here in North Carolina. Isn't that something? Now, Roland, North Carolina, right here. Look at this. It's not just one or two. The seismic events still happen. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. These are significant earthquakes here. Okay? 3.0s. These are all at least 3.0 earthquakes. All three of them. They're small earthquakes. That's all 3.0 earthquake is. 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small. However, after you keep going up to 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, they get stronger. But they're still considered small earthquakes. Why am I saying this? Because, folks, our geography is changing. Our landmass is changing. The continent is moving. And as the continent moves, these earthquakes continue. More and more people are going to notice. USGS did not show these earthquakes today. There is no evidence on the USGS map except for that one near Gatlinburg, which is say that they said it was only 2.4, and it looks like it's like a 2.8, 2.9. Of course, because they do not want us to know how strong these quakes are. They're lying about it. That's all these agencies do, is lie. They're told by the politicians to lie, and so they do. The politicians can't tell us the truth either. Heaven forbid they tell us the truth. They can't. They don't believe they know how. I just don't. I don't believe they know anything about how to tell the truth at all. Not at all. And there's more than that. Let me show you something else. Let's look at the earthquakes around the globe real quick. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time here, but I want to show you what's happened. I'm only going to show you the major events here. Let's go over to Japan. Over in the Bonan and Izu Islands of Japan. Look at this. This was a 5.0 earthquake last night in the Bonan Islands of Japan. It didn't affect anybody because it was far enough out away from land that nobody felt it. But look at all these other earthquakes here. This happened at 33 minutes after 10 last night. All the rest of these earthquakes are all aftershocks, every one of them. This was a 4.6. The main shock, folks, was a 5.0 large quake, 6.2 miles deep. This aftershock, 6.8 miles deep, so it's still within the same neighborhood. Okay, look at this one, a 4.8, 64 miles deep. Boy, that's a difference. A 4.8 aftershock, and it's 64 miles deep. 64 miles deep. Look at this one. In the Izu Islands, 6.2 miles deep is a 4.7. This earthquake, a 4.6, also 6.2 miles deep. Then we go over here to Honshu, Japan. Honshu, Japan. We have another moderate earthquake here. This is a 4.4. This is east of Imachi, Japan. IMAICHI, Japan. It's in a somewhat unpopulated area. Yes, there are people that live up here. It's in the mountainous areas up here in Honshu. Look at this. This is only a moderate earthquake. All moderate earthquakes do is shake stuff. Not major, but moderate shaking. It can knock pictures off of walls. It can knock books and knickknacks off of shelves. They felt this quake. It was not a major, it was not a large. They felt some shaking here. This area is inhabited mostly by farms. Mostly by farms. Okay? The people here got lucky. The people got lucky. This could have been worse. This could have been a lot worse. These earthquakes here happened on the fault line. They happened on the fault line. Okay? The Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench comes out here just south of the Philippines in the Indonesia area. Okay? Now again, these are not all the earthquakes that have hit here. Okay? Over here, Central Philippines. This was a 5.0 here. This was a 5.0 here in the Central Philippines. Okay? It says 1 mile northeast of Magislangi, Philippines. Folks, there are some people that live here. It's not really tightly populated. There's some areas that you can see where there's homes or villages. It's not highly populated, but they felt this earthquake. A large earthquake 6.2 miles deep. Shallow earthquake. Shallow earthquake here in Central Philippines. Now, going down here in Indonesia here. This is in the Banda Sea. This is another 5.0 earthquake. How many 5.0s have we hit here? 3. 3. This is 55, 56 miles deep. Okay? This is still a fairly shallow earthquake. It's down in the asthenosphere. This earthquake is down in the asthenosphere here. It's in the plastic magma area. This earthquake here, also in Papua New Guinea, another 5.1. This makes 4 large earthquakes today. 2 here in Indonesia and 2 others up here. Okay? We go over to northeastern India. This is a 5.4. A large 5.4 earthquake. 54 people felt this earthquake. Only 54 people felt this earthquake. It was in an unpopulated area. An unpopulated area over here in the mountains. Okay? A 5.4 earthquake, 6.2 miles deep. 10 kilometers deep. A pretty shallow earthquake, huh? Not to be outdone, over here in Tajikistan we have another 5 here. This is a 5.3. Also 8.5 miles deep. A 5.3. Going east. Way east. This is in Bosnia-Herzegovina. This is a moderate 4.5 that's also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Isn't it interesting? All these are 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. What do we see here and why? Why? USGS says they're either 6.2 miles deep or maybe they don't have sufficient information to say exactly how deep it is, so they just throw a depth onto it. That's what I think they're doing here. Not that they don't know how deep it is, they don't want to be responsible for being truthful again. This is another way where they wiggle out of telling the truth. Now, we just got hit with another earthquake. Okay? This is over in the southern Kuril Islands that belong to Russia. From just north of Hokkaido, Japan here, the Kuril Islands start. And they go all the way over here to Kamchatka Peninsula. The Kuril Islands are full of islands and volcanoes. Islands and volcanoes. This earthquake that just happened is a 4.6 moderate earthquake. Also 6.2 miles. 6.2 miles. Folks, I don't buy 6.2 miles. There's too many of them. There's too many of them. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Over here in Fiji. This is over here in eastern Fiji here. This is also a 4.6 earthquake. But this is a very deep earthquake. This is 369 miles deep. 369 miles deep. This earthquake is going to propagate a much larger earthquake. These deep earthquakes spring out or populate or propagate larger, more shallow earthquakes. This earthquake is going to propagate a 5.5, 5.6 earthquake. This earthquake could go north, it could go south into the Kermadec Islands or New Zealand, or it could go west over here to Australia, or it could go over here to Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, or over here to Papua New Guinea. It could. That earthquake that's going to happen within the next 3 to 10 days could also go over here to Chile and Argentina. And we're going to see Chile and Argentina in just a minute. Okay? But lo and behold, no, I'm not a prophet, I'm not even an apostle. Lo and behold, we have a brand new earthquake here. This is another 4.4 earthquake, this time in the Kermadec Islands. The Kermadec Islands belong to what? New Zealand. Okay? They're north of New Zealand. This one is another 4.4 earthquake. 134 miles deep. This is not quite as deep. Okay? A 4.4 moderate earthquake. Then we come down here into New Zealand, to the southern part of the North Island, Raoul Island. Okay? This is a 3.4 earthquake here. A 3.4 earthquake. Why did it happen? It's 11.1 miles deep. Why did it happen? Look where it's at. It's right there out on tradition. I'm sorry, not tradition. That's a bad word. Well, it's not a bad word, but it's not what I wanted to say. It's on the transition of that fault line that comes out of Tonga in the Philippines. That fault line comes out of Tonga in the Philippines, way up here, and it comes down here to the outside, the east side of New Zealand, and it transitions into the South Island. This earthquake probably came out of that same fault line from the north. 3.4 earthquake. This one is 11 miles deep. Okay? And there's no other earthquake shown here, which is a lie. This is an out and out lie. Folks, New Zealand has a bunch of earthquakes. New Zealand has a bunch of earthquakes. Why aren't they showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. We really do want to know. Why are they not showing them? Because I think the politicians are too stupid. Honestly, they're too stupid. If they had any brains, they'd talk about it. If they had any brains, they'd talk about it. Look, I'm going to show you something here. That's what the USGS says. The European agency says something a lot different. Look at that. Most of these earthquakes are 2s and 3s anyway. Okay? Let's take a look at these here on the northeast end of New Zealand, near Gisborne, New Zealand. 2.72. 2.72. 2.68 and 2.31 near Gisborne, New Zealand, Hawke's Bay area. Okay? Then we go over to a supervolcano. How many of you knew we had a supervolcano here? Awaken says she got kicked off of Facebook a few years back and never went back. Well, guess what? I've been kicked off too many times and I'm not going to go back this time. I'm leaving on my own, but I'm also going to wait and take pictures that I put up on Facebook with me. I'm not going to leave without all those pictures. If I let Facebook kick me off one more time, I'm not going to be able to get my pictures back. Well, am I? This time I will. Okay, look at that lake. What lake is this, guys? Sorry guys, I swallowed wrong. This lake is Topo Lake. Sorry. This lake is Topo Lake. This is a super volcano. Topo volcano. Why are they not showing an earthquake at Topo volcano? A 2.21 magnitude earthquake at Topo volcano. And it's not the only one. Over on the northwestern side, we have a 2.35 earthquake there as well, at Topo volcano. 2 earthquakes at a supervolcano. And folks, these are not the only earthquakes that have hit. Topo volcano is getting hit with minor earthquakes and tremors every day. A few months ago, they thought Topo volcano might erupt because there was so much seismic energy here around Topo volcano. And yet they're not saying anything, are they? Okay? Earlier last week, we had an earthquake right here. This, I believe, was a 4.5, if I'm not mistaken, at another volcano here. At another volcano. It never fails. It never fails. Then over here in the Cook Strait, okay, the Cook Strait, right between the 2 islands here. USGS doesn't show it, do they? Not at all. 2.73 and a 3.1. 2.73 and a 3.1 right there. Okay? All they're showing there is a 3.4 over on the one of the southernmost points of this North Island. Okay? And they're just showing one earthquake. Well, glory be. Folks, there's a 3.4 near Wellington. There's a 3.4 near Wellington, and along with it, the other 2.79. Again, why is USGS not showing it? They show one but not the other, and they don't show the earthquakes over in the Cook Strait either. How about on the South Island? They're not showing us any earthquakes on the South Island. Canterbury, New Zealand, a 3.12. Near Canterbury, New Zealand, a 3.12. Arthur's Pass. South of there, a 2.24. There's a 2.24. Why are they not being honest? Why are they not reporting it? They don't have to. They don't want to. Right now, if you went over to the USGS map, they would say they have 199 earthquakes worldwide. Really? That's all. I will guarantee you one thing, and that's this. There's over 800 earthquakes worldwide, and they're still not showing them all. Isn't that interesting? Because they think they don't have to. Down in the South Sandwich Islands, guys. The South Sandwich Islands in the Southern Atlantic. This happened late last night as well. This happened at 10:06 p.m. last night. A 5.2 large earthquake in the South Sandwich Islands. For those of you that don't know, the South Sandwich Islands are entirely unoccupied. Nobody lives there. There is so much wind there and high seas, nobody can even stay there. It is that cold. The only animals that are there are sea lions and seals. That's just about it. Scientists go there maybe once a year to check on things, and they leave again. They don't stay. But a 5.2 earthquake in the South Sandwich Islands today. That's going to go up here along the Antarctic Fault and come up here in the South Atlantic sometime in the next couple days. We expect to see a 5.0 earthquake here in the South Atlantic in the next couple of days. Over here in South America, there's about 25 earthquakes here in South America along the west coast of the continent. They're not showing that, are they? A 4.4 over here in central Chile, just off the coast. A 4.4 moderate earthquake. This is only 14 miles deep. North of there, this is near Vallenar, Chile. This is another 4.0 earthquake. Moderate earthquake, 22 miles deep. We go further north into Tarapaca, Chile area. Calama, Chile. This is a 4.5 moderate earthquake. 81 miles deep. Interesting. There's earthquakes here in Peru. There's actually more earthquakes here in Chile area, and Bolivia and Argentina area, but heaven forbid they show us. More earthquakes in Peru, going up here into Ecuador and Colombia. They're not going to show us. They're not showing us anything in Central America. What a bunch of bulldog idiots. Yeah, bulldog idiots. Okay? Let's go over here to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Look at the swarm of earthquakes here. We had 30 earthquakes here yesterday. 30 earthquakes here yesterday. What is going on? The reason we're getting earthquakes in this area, guys, these are all aftershocks from 8.0 and 8.4 earthquake that hit here December 27th and December 30th, 2019. Okay? Two very major human-caused earthquakes. Human-caused, guys. Does anybody wonder why or how they could have been caused by humans? I've talked about this before. Does anybody remember me telling you about it? Why these are human-caused earthquakes and what happened? Does anybody know what happened? Richard Smith says, earthquake attacks. That would make a good movie. Earthquake attacks. Guys, I've explained it before. And for anybody that's new, I'm going to explain it again right now, right here. This agency right here was responsible for an 8.0 earthquake that hit here in Puerto Rico, southwestern Puerto Rico, on December 27th, 2019. 2.5 days later, December 28th, another one, this time an 8.4. This organization right here did it. They did it. There was a location in Norway. There was a location in Russia, and another location in northwestern Australia that lit those facilities up and triangulated southwestern Puerto Rico, causing 2 major earthquakes, causing death, causing injuries, and causing major property damage, including knocking over a natural landmark. A great big huge sandstone arch. A great big huge sandstone arch. Something like you would see in Arches National Park, Utah. Knocked it over, demolished it. It took 2 8.0 and better earthquakes to knock it over, and caused extensive property damage all over Puerto Rico, knocking out the power, making it impossible to live. People died as a result of man tampering with the environment. Okay? Today we talk about earthquakes, we talk about weather being tampered with. They killed people, guys. They purposely killed people. Today over here is a 2.4. This is a 2.9 off the coast of Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. A 3.0. A 2.9. Another 2.5. Another 2.3, and you can see where I'm going with this. Okay? Aftershocks. This is 4 years later. 4 years later, and we're still seeing aftershocks for major earthquakes. Juby Joe says, doesn't the U.S. have a major communications base there? Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Why do you think they do? Why do you think they do? Because over here, probably close to 300 miles away, over here in Cuba, we have a communist regime over here in Cuba. And we also have a military base right here, Guantanamo Naval Air Station. Guantanamo Naval Air Station here in southern Cuba. Isn't it interesting that we'd have a military base right next to a communist regime? Very interesting. Okay? But that's there. Now, we talked to you earlier about this earthquake in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, at 2.4. Over in the New Madrid area, Ridgely, Tennessee, it's a 1.8 tremor. Interesting, huh? Fairmont, Oklahoma, in oil and gas producing area, this is a 1.1 tremor. South of there, in Velma, Oklahoma, another 2.0 earthquake. Over here in Texas, Hermleigh, Texas, guys, again, we have a 3.6 earthquake here. A 3.6 right smack dab in the middle of the oil and gas producing area here. USGS just shut my map down. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to put it back up because I'm not quite done here. I'm not quite done. I'm going to take it right back there. Right back to the United States. We've talked about earthquakes all over the world here. Let's go back here to the U.S. Okay? Hermleigh, Texas, a 3.6 earthquake. Okay? Over here. Remember this place? Imperial County, California? Right next to the Mexico-U.S. border. Up here in Calipatria. Actually, this isn't Calipatria. This is Westmoreland, California. They're telling us about a 1.1 tremor. I will bet you that we just don't have just a 1.1 tremor. I will bet you that we have 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes as well. We always do. Down here in Brawley, good old Brawley, California. Good old Brawley, California. This is a 1.8 tremor. 1.8 tremor at the first church on the left in Brawley, California. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think there's a first church on the left. That was kind of an old joke of mine from way back when. Okay? Over here, this is just barely across the border. A 1.4 tremor. And right next to it, another 1.9. Literally across the border. Look at that. This 1.9 they're saying is 11 miles west-southwest of where? Naval Air Station El Centro, California, where we've been having 3s and 3.5s for months now. And yet they're not talking about it today, are they? They never do. They never do. This earthquake here, Ocotillo Wells. This is on the east side of the Chocolate Mountains, a 1.1 tremor. North of there, Borrego Springs, the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. We're still seeing earthquakes here, 1.4, 0.6 here, and a 0.6 here. Southwest of there, good old Escondido, California again. My old stomping grounds here. My old stomping grounds, just north of Lake Henshaw. I pulled a lot of trout out of Lake Henshaw and some bass. This is a 0.6 tremor here, north of Lake Henshaw. This is a 2.0. This is 0.4, and this is 0.9. We've been getting swarms and caches of earthquakes here for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. Just north of Lake Henshaw, California. This is just northwest, or northeast, excuse me, northeast of Escondido, California. Just so you know. Okay? Just so you know. Over here, I just love this here. Okay? I just love this here. Okay? When we get earthquakes here, and there are a few, there have been a few down here, I just love it because USGS calls this a quarry blast. They call this a quarry blast, a 1.4 tremor here. They're calling it a quarry blast. Look where it's at. Look where this earthquake is at. It's over on the north side of a highway. The north side of a highway there. 2 lanes in each direction, east and west. It's just south of this major housing development with apartments. I know exactly where this earthquake is. It's not a quarry blast, USGS. Get your heads out of your butts. This has nothing to do with a quarry. It has nothing to do with a quarry at all. Kristen Castro says, looks like I'm going to be rewatching this. Oh yeah, Kristen, you may have missed something here. You may have missed something. We can go north here. Again, that's Lake Henshaw we were just talking about, right? Oh yeah. Let's go north. Beaumont, California. We've had earthquakes there. This is a 1.0 here. Here's a 1.4 in Yucaipa. Yucaipa. Okay? This area here is all part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. The Anza-Borrego Desert. Cabazon, a 1.2, 1.7. Up here, Morongo Valley, this is a 1.4 tremor. Look where it's at. Look where these earthquakes at. On the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. And yet they're not showing anything all over Los Angeles. Again, they're lying about it. Absolutely and totally lying about it. We follow the San Andreas Fault north to Fraser Park. This is a southwestern part of the Garlock Fault as well. The Garlock Fault is here at Fraser Park, meets up with the San Andreas right here. This is a 1.2, and this is a 3.0 at the Grapevine. The Grapevine, 6 miles west-southwest of the Grapevine. Okay? One of the most dangerous highway systems in California, the Grapevine Highway. The Garlock Fault. We go up here just south and east of the Garlock. We do have a quarry blast here. This is a 1.4. This is a half a mile deep. A half a mile deep. Okay? I'll give it to quarry blast. I will give it to them because it's right there. It's right there. Further north. This is Lake Isabella, California. This is also in a volcanic zone. This is a 1.0 tremor. North of there, Cyrils Valley 0.6 and 1.0 at Little Lake, California. Okay? Just so you know. We go further north here. A brand new earthquake at Lake Nacimiento. Lake Nacimiento, a 1.3. Okay? We go further north. San Lucas, California, 1.2. This earthquake here, Parkfield, earthquake capital of California, a 1.1. We go further north, also on the San Andreas, just east of Monterey Bay. San Juan Bautista, California, a 2.7 earthquake. A 1.7 in Aromas, California. Okay? On the San Andreas Fault. We go north on the Hayward Fault. Look at this. A 2.0 earthquake at Alum Rock. On the Hayward Fault just north. Hayward, California. Well, how about that? Hayward, California, a 1.2 tremor. And also just north of that, Castro Valley, a 1.1. Now, there's one other earthquake fault we haven't talked about, and we just happen to have an earthquake here. This is Clayton, California, with a 1.1 tremor on the Calaveras Fault. Calaveras Fault here, the Hayward Fault right here, and the San Andreas Fault right here. 3 of the most dangerous fault zones in the world right here. We go over to the San Andreas Fault at the entrance to San Francisco Bay. I just love it when we have earthquakes here. We do have a lot of earthquakes here. This is a 1.2, 2 miles west of the San Francisco Zoo. 2 miles west of the San Francisco Zoo. You belong in the zoo, the San Francisco Zoo. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be singing. Here's a new earthquake in Middletown, California. Just happened. A 1.8. These other earthquakes right here are all part of the geysers basin. The geysers. Sonoma County, California. What do we have here? Earthquakes caused by man drilling into the upper magma chambers of this volcano, the Clear Lake volcano. Man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano to harvest steam to power turbines over here. To power turbines over here. Yeah, we have a bunch of earthquakes. We have a bunch of earthquakes. Why? Because man is drilled into the upper magma chambers of that volcano to harvest steam to power turbines here, turbines to generate electricity. That's what they're doing here in these mountains here in the geysers. It's a huge geothermal region. Huge geothermal region. They have 80 turbines in this area. 80 turbines all over here. And we can have anywhere from 20 to 30, 40 earthquakes here, even on a daily basis, here in the geysers. That happens every day. North of there, this is a brand new earthquake. Redwood Valley, California, a 1.6 today. This is a 1.7 in Laytonville, California. We've had a dozen earthquakes there in Laytonville in the past year. Okay? Now they're not telling us about any earthquakes today over here in the Mendocino Fault area. The Mendocino Fault area and the the Gorda Escarpment. The Gorda Escarpment. The earthquake fault that runs away west from the California coast and hooks up with what else? The San Andreas Fault and the Cascadia Subduction Zone at the Triple Junction here. San Andreas Fault going north, the Gorda Escarpment going west, and the San Andreas Fault leaving this area going into California. We've had plenty of earthquakes here lately. Okay? Lately. Over here, just a few days ago, we had a 3.2 here over in the Blanco Fracture Zone. We've had 3.2s, 4.5s, 4.7s, and 5.7s here on the Blanco Fracture Zone. Okay? Going north. This, folks, is in southern Washington. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of this town. It's got a 2.6 earthquake. H-O-Q-U-I-A-M. H-O-Q-U-I-A-M, Washington. Waukegan, Washington. A 2.6 earthquake. Kristen says Cascadia. You're right. This whole area is Cascadia. One more place we're going to talk about, and we're going to call it a night. Okay? That's over here in the Aleutian Island area. We have a 4.2 here near Unalaska. What do we have here in Unalaska, guys? We have a volcano, don't we? Volcano. This is a 4.2 earthquake 52 miles south of Unalaska. We have a volcano. It's called Shishaldin Volcano. Right there. Shishaldin Volcano has been erupting up to 40,000 feet high. 40,000 feet high. Do you have any questions about anything that I've talked about tonight? We've been literally all over the map. Just off the coast of western Alaska here, we have another 2.8 here. A 2.8 out here in the ocean, west-northwest of Emmonak, Alaska. E-M-M-O-N-A-K, Alaska. A 2.8 earthquake there. Any questions about anything? I guess I've got a pronunciation here. Hokiam. Hokiam, Washington. Hokiam, Washington. I know I don't know how to pronounce almost anything. Okay? If you give me Swedish words, I'll pronounce those all right. Anyway, that's what's going on. Anybody have any questions? We've been literally all over the globe, and we haven't even touched on half the earthquakes. We have not even touched on half the earthquakes that have happened. I've just been hit and miss all over the place. Had another earthquake just now over here in Puerto Rico. This is a 2.6 earthquake over here just off the coast of Puerto Rico today, just now. So the earthquakes are continuing to hit. Earthquakes are continuing to hit. Okay, I think we're done with earthquakes. Before I leave you tonight, I've been meaning to show you something for a while now. Okay? For about a week and a half, I found this, and I've been meaning to play it for you. This is the USC Marching Band, Amazing Grace, and also America the Beautiful. I want to play this for you. It's beautiful. It's absolutely a stunning rendition of Amazing Grace and America the Beautiful. USC Marching Band with Amazing Grace and God Bless America. What a beautiful rendition. I'm finally glad that I played that for you tonight. I've been meaning to do that for about a week or two now. Folks, in closing, I want to thank all those who have supported this program tonight, either just by being here in the chat, talking with us, sharing information with each other, and also those people that supported our program financially in the Super Chat. Thank you ever so much. We appreciate that. God bless you for that. I want to also have us remember those members of the EMA family that are in need of prayer tonight. Let's don't forget them. Wonderful, wonderful people. All of our EMA family we love very dearly. Please remember those members of our family that are in need of prayers tonight. Before I leave you tonight, I want to leave you with an idea, a thought from the scriptures. This comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 6 through 7. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he supposes in his heart. In his heart. So let him give not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. I want to thank everybody for being part of our program, for giving and sharing. God loves a cheerful giver. May God bless us all. Let's stick together. Let's help each other. Let's prepare. We're living in a very turbulent time. Trouble and turmoil all around us, all over the world. God bless you. God be with you. We have viewers from literally around the world, all over Europe. Literally. Friends in Scandinavia. My dear friend Dean over in England, and many others there as well. Scotland and Ireland. We love all of you. We've got dear friends down in New Zealand, Australia, Indonesia, South America, Japan, Central America, and all over the United States. I want to thank United States and Canada, I want to thank all of you for being here. God bless you. Catherine Sigurdsson says Oxford had an explosion today. I did not know that, didn't hear that. God bless all those who may need his blessings today. Thank you all for being here. Please, folks, check your subscriptions and make sure you're still subscribed to this channel. YouTube still continues to unsubscribe people. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And when you do that, also you need to click on that little bell icon. There's a little bell in the middle of a circle. Click on it. When you click on that bell, you're clicking up there, and it's going to open a drop-down menu of 3 items. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. Please, folks, share this program widely with all your friends, your neighbors, your family and extended family, the people you work with, and also the people you associate with on social media. Let's grow this family. Let's grow this family, and let's love each other. Let's help each other prepare. Everybody around this globe needs to prepare. We are going through a terrible time, and everybody needs hugs, they need love, and they need help preparing to endure what's going to happen. God bless you all. God be with you until we meet again. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. God be with you until we meet again. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back here on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, God be with you until we meet again. We will see you around the corner. Good night, everybody. Much love.